sugar baby. I'll have a sugar baby and I'll be the sugar daddy, and she could be a gold digger all she wants because I'll have the money from being a truck driver. Just about anyone can do this. If you're a truck driver, you can pull this off. You can get rich in trucking. So in case you couldn't tell, I'm back to driving a truck and drinking energy drinks to stay up all night. I'm back at it, as you can tell. But more than that, what I want to talk about in this video is my long-term plan to like retire. And if I do it right, my retirement should land me like a rich man. I should be able to get rich off of driving a truck. And no, I'm not an owner operator, and almost anyone can do this. If you're single with no kids, you're going to have a big leg up in the race. But if you got hella kids with like hella different baby mamas, say you got like 5 kids and like, yeah. But let's just assume you don't have too many liabilities. If you're a truck driver, a company truck driver, you can get rich doing this. I made a video talking about this when I first started my YouTube channel. That video was kind of all over the place. It was good, but it wasn't good enough. But if you follow these simple steps, you can land a good retirement and get rich in trucking. So I said I made a video talking about this before, so I'm going to be taking some of my own advice from that past video. If you're single, you need to live in the truck, all right? There's no reason that you should not be living in your truck if you're a truck driver. Yeah, as long as you live in the truck and you have a sleeper cab, this is going to be done a lot easier if you're a sleeper cab driver. That goes for OTR, dedicated, regional, local. When you're local, you have these liabilities: rent, bills, utilities, car insurance. I have car insurance and a car note right now. I'm thinking of like getting rid of that too. But the thing about living in the truck is your check becomes more than just a check. It becomes cash flow. It becomes money that you can put to... You see, when you're living in the truck, you're always at work. So your check, it really does become cash flow because us truck drivers work so much. So you're always at work. So you're always making money. You don't have the time to spend this money because you're stuck at work making this money. That's what I mean. So you become, like, all you're doing is making money. So you become just like this money making machine, right? As a truck driver, if you're living in the truck, like in a sleeper like this. But the thing about living in the truck is your paycheck becomes cash flow. It becomes a tool that you can use to, send your money out to go and work for you. In my past video where I talked about how to get rich in trucking, I was talking about having multiple sources of income. Using the money from your trucking job to open up a taco truck, a side business. But let's keep it real. When you're a truck driver, you're right here driving. It's going to be hard for you to run a business when you're always at work. So since us truck drivers don't really have time, but we have money, what's the best investment that a truck driver can make to make more money outside of your job? Real estate. The oldest trick in the book. Real estate is most likely going to be the best thing for a truck driver to get into to make cash flow. To make multiple sources of income, I would definitely be investing into real estate. Roth IRAs, index funds, mutual funds, 401ks, those are all good. That's a good place to park your money. But if you want to have multiple sources of income, you should have paper like your 401k, savings, of course, but real estate. If you own properties and they're all being rented out, that's cash flow. And the goal about investing is so you don't have to work. Because when you get old, your body and just you mentally, you're going to be so old that you're not going to be able to like drive a truck like you did back when you were young. And when you get older, are you going to really want to work when you're older? I mean, some of you guys want to work until you're dead. I mean, you're a real American, right? Not me. Hell, dude, I don't want to work right now. If I could have it my way, I would stay home, live in a mansion, date Jessica Alba, Kylie Jenner, Pamela Anderson from back in Baywatch. I'm talking Pamela Anderson back in the day, like back in the Tommy Lee days on Baywatch. Oh, man, dude, she was trim back then, huh? And I'd be at the house, I wouldn't be at work if I had it my way, but I got to work. So when you get older, if you have all this real estate, all this property that you're renting out, and you got tenants that are bringing you cash flow, say the stock market takes a downturn, and there goes your 401k, there goes your paper investments. Say whatever president cut Social Security, so there goes your benefits. If you have multiple sources of income from real estate, you're going to be fine. That's probably like the safest. It's the oldest trick in the book as far as investing goes. But the question is, what kind of real estate should you as a truck driver be investing in? Since we don't have a lot of time, I would buy like single family homes and I would rent them out on Section 8. And since I don't have the time, I would be willing to pay the price to get a management company that focuses on Section 8 tenants that would get me a tenant, help with the upkeep, help with collecting rent, all that. And all I do is just collect my cash flow and drive my truck, and I continue to invest. I take that money and I put it towards a down payment on another house, and I keep doing it over and over and over and over and over again. The benefit about renting out on Section 8 is, number one, a lot of people don't want to do it. So the competition isn't really there compared to just renting out your home to just regular tenants. Most people hear Section 8 and they run away. They're like, oh, I don't want to turn my house into like a project or whatever. I don't want to get ghetto tenants that are going to destroy my property. And yes, that can happen. So you get something called homeowners insurance. But even though you're going to be renting out your property on Section 8, you could still be very picky with who you're going to rent to. You can still run a background check. You can still raise rents like significantly once a year, depending on, the rents around your area. And it's not really affecting the tenant because they're on Section 8. So you're really charging the government that up cost of rent. You know what I mean? And when you rent out on Section 8, you typically get a renter for life, because people who live on Section 8, they don't really want to get off Section 8 because it's a good deal for them. It's low-income housing. And by you providing low-income housing, there are some tax credits. There's the low-income housing tax credit. It significantly reduces what you owe to the government because you're doing the government a favor by offering low-income housing on Section 8. And as a truck driver, dude, you're getting straight cash flow. It's a tenant for life. You can still screen them. You can jack up the rents, you could raise the rent, and it's not going to affect the tenant like that because, like I said, the government is paying for it. The taxes are paying for it. So it's a win-win situation, dude. I'm thinking of investing in these properties around cheap places like McAllen, Texas, maybe even Corpus Christi, Michigan, Ohio, where the cost of entry of buying single-family homes is way lower than where I'm at right here in California. And it'll be a lot easier for me to do it as a truck driver compared to someone who has a job and they got kids, bills, rent, mortgage. You know what I mean? I'll have mortgage too, but I'll have the government on Section 8 paying my mortgage and giving me a tax advantage. And I'll be able to reinvest really quickly because I'll be living in a truck where my paycheck is acting as cash flow. And I'll be getting cash flow from all these properties that I'll be renting out on Section 8 for life. I'm thinking if I do this for the foreseeable future, I could retire in my 60s, and I could be pretty well off to where I don't have to worry about trucking. It could just almost become a hobby, and I could work like part-time because I'm going to be getting all this real estate income plus everything that I've invested in a Roth IRA, 401k, savings. But the bulk of my money, I'm going to focus it on real estate. 401ks, Roth IRAs, they're cool, but you don't know what the market's going to do, so you don't really have control over that. Mutual funds, Roth IRAs, 401ks, they perform really well for the most part. But if we have another COVID, dude, you'll get wiped out. So if I own real estate, it's something separate and it's, backed by the government on Section 8. It's cash flow that I don't got to worry about, dude. It's literally just another check with tax write-offs. So yeah, that's my plan for retirement. That's my plan to get rich right here as a truck driver. I'm going to do this for the foreseeable future. Like, this is my career. I've been thinking about doing this, doing that, but I think what it really was, it was the shock that, okay, us truck drivers, we spend so much time on the road. So I started thinking, how could I invest to where my investments are as passive as possible, to where I don't got to touch it, I just collect. So if I invest in real estate, rent out on Section 8, I get cash flow for life. And like I said, us folks who are single with no kids, we're going to reach this goal a lot faster than someone who has kids. And you got to pay for their diapers, back to school supplies, food, restitution when they go to juvenile hall, pay for their DUI classes, pay for their lawyer when they go to prison. You get what I'm saying, right? If you're single and you have no kids, you can just work as much as you want, as much as you can, invest your money into real estate. It doesn't have to be Section 8. You can still lease out to these property management companies that'll take your house and put a tenant in there. But like I said, the reason why I'm going after Section 8 is because I can get one tenant and just leave it alone, and I'll have a tenant for life, and I can raise the rent, and it's just cash flow. So yeah, that's my plan. I'm not going to get like too motivational or like, whatever on this video. This is pretty much my plan to retire as a rich man as a truck driver. Any truck driver can do this. I'm willing to bet you could even pull this off if you're making $50,000 a year as a truck driver. You're going to reach it a lot better if you're keeping the wheels turning and you're making a lot of money. If you're making like 75, 80, 90, 100,000 plus, you're going to reach this goal. You're going to be able to invest in real estate pretty quick as a truck driver. But if you're making all this money and you're spending all this money on vacations, flashy jewelry, clothes, cars, you're not really in control of your cash flow. You're not managing your money correctly. But you can do whatever you want. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to retire a rich man. I'm going to be that old rich guy. And yeah, dude, I'll trick off my money when I'm old and I'm a retired truck driver. I'll be that old geezer with the young trim gold, like gold digger, like what do they call it? A sugar baby. I'll have a sugar baby and I'll be the sugar daddy, and she could be a gold digger all she wants because I'll have the money from being a truck driver. Just about anyone can do this. If you're a truck driver, you can pull this off. You can get rich in trucking. And with that being said, be sure to smash the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel. Peace out. That's how I'm going to retire and get rich as a truck driver. You can do the same as long as you don't got 5 kids and